Welcome back, boxing fans. Today, we're diving into a story that shakes the very foundation of professional boxing.
Crowd in Tokyo trying to rally support.
The legacy of Eddy Reynoso, arguably the most successful trainer in the sport over the past decade.
Lo que hemos hecho bien, lo que hemos hecho mal y seguir por el mismo camino. Yo creo que la disciplina que hemos mostrado como equipo es lo que nos ha llevado hasta donde.
Reynoso is the man behind Canelo Álvarez, one of boxing's biggest stars. As well as a stable of elite fighters who have dominated multiple divisions. But there's another side to his career, one that rarely gets discussed openly. Over the years, at least 7 fighters connected to his gym have tested positive for banned substances. And why does nobody talk about it? 7 fighters. That is not just a coincidence. That is a pattern. And when this happens in one camp repeatedly, the question becomes unavoidable. Is Eddy Reynoso simply unlucky with his fighters? Or is he the one supplying them? Today, we're going fighter by fighter, digging deep into each case, the controversies, and the growing suspicions surrounding one of boxing's most famous trainers. Our story begins in 2017 with Nery, a promising young fighter from Mexico. Nery tested positive for Zilpaterol, a substance chemically similar to Clenbuterol, which is banned in sports. He claimed the positive test was due to contaminated Mexican beef. Yes, apparently one of Mexico's cows decided it wanted revenge on Nery. Maybe it didn't like losing to him in the ring. Nery insisted it was unintentional, but the Japan Boxing Commission didn't buy it, and he was sanctioned immediately. At the time, Nery wasn't a household name in Reynoso's camp, but the connection was there, and this was one of the first warning signs that something strange was happening with fighters associated with Reynoso. Imagine that. One stake, one fight, one ruined reputation. Who knew lunch could be so deadly?
まず練習したことを意識して、今みたいに1ラウンド目しっかり。
Then came 2018 and the bombshell everyone remembers. Canelo Álvarez, Reynoso's superstar, tested positive for Clenbuterol ahead of his rematch with Gennady Golovkin. Canelo blamed contaminated Mexican beef.
Michael, it puts it in jeopardy only from the standpoint that the Nevada State Athletic Commission, as they should, has to go ahead and do their investigation, do their due diligence. But as the medical expert that you just cited says that it's within, or it's consistent, let's say, with contaminated meat, which is a common problem in Mexico.
Yes, the cows strike again. Apparently some cows in Mexico have a vendetta against top boxers. But the Nevada State Athletics Commission didn't buy the excuse and suspended him for 6 months. The implications were enormous. The #1 fighter in your gym gets caught with a banned substance. Immediately, all eyes turn to the trainer. What did Eddy know? Was he supplying it himself? Or was this truly just a vindictive cow scenario? Fans and critics alike started asking hard questions, and for many, the answer seemed obvious. Something shady was happening behind the scenes. In 2019, the pattern continued with Julio César Martínez, another rising star from Reynoso's camp. Martínez also tested positive for Clenbuterol. Once again, the defense was contaminated beef. Maybe at this point, the cows of Mexico had formed an alliance to take down Reynoso's fighters. Bovine conspiracy. By now, the excuse was wearing thin. 1 fighter, maybe. 2 fighters, that's a little suspicious. But 3, that is alarming. Fans and insiders began asking, why does this keep happening under Reynoso's watch? Martínez's failed test cemented Reynoso's gym as having a reputation. and it was not the kind fighters want. Fast forward to 2021, and we meet Óscar Valdez, who tested positive for phentermine, a banned substance only used for weight loss. Unlike Nery, Canelo, or Martinez, this wasn't a cow situation. No Mexican beef could be blamed. The controversy here was in the reaction. The WBC allowed Valdez to fight despite the failed test, causing outrage amongst fans. Many called it favoritism, protecting another Reynoso fighter. By this point, Reynoso had 4 fighters with PED violations. 4! How many coincidences do you need before suspicion falls squarely on the trainer? In 2024, one of boxing's most popular figures, Ryan García, tested positive for ostarine, a selective androgen receptor modulator, a substance that mimics steroids. Ryan denied any wrongdoing, claiming sabotage or tampering with supplements, and he fought back hard on social media. But even without Reynoso officially training him at the time, critics immediately connected Ryan's case to the gym's growing reputation. Reynoso's camp now had a pattern of fighters popping dirty. And once a reputation exists, it's hard to escape it, even if you aren't directly involved at the time. Then, in 2025, Jaime Munguía, a rising star in Reynoso's stable, tested positive for exogenous testosterone after his win against Bruno Saras. This wasn't accidental. This wasn't meat or supplements. This was straight up testosterone, a clear-cut banned substance. Fans saw this as the smoking gun. Another Reynoso fighter, another positive test. At this point, you can no longer claim bad luck. The evidence is stacking up, and the boxing world is asking the uncomfortable question: what is going on in Reynoso's gym? And finally, also in 2025, Francisco Chihuas Rodríguez Jr. failed a VADA test. Reynoso tried to distance himself, claiming Rodríguez wasn't officially part of his stable, but the damage was done. 7 fighters connected to Reynoso's gym had tested positive. 7! There is no longer any coincidence. This is a pattern of suspicious activity that raises serious questions about the trainer himself. PEDs have a long controversial history in boxing. Steroids, stimulants, and other substances can enhance strength, recovery, and endurance, but they destroy careers, reputations, and trust in the sport. When multiple fighters from the same gym repeatedly fail tests, it's not just a coincidence. It's a red flag about the culture in that camp. Reynoso's gym has become a case study in how repeated violations can cast doubt, not only on fighters, but also on the trainer himself. Is he a mastermind, providing or condoning the substances? Or is he truly a victim of bad luck and poor fighter choices? The pattern is hard to ignore. So what does this mean? Some argue that Reynoso just has bad luck, or that his fighters make independent mistakes. But consider the facts. 7 fighters across multiple years, multiple weight classes, all tied to PEDs. It's hard to believe the trainer has nothing to do with it. Some insiders suggest he might be the mastermind, either supplying the substances or turning a blind eye. Eddy Reynoso might be one of the most decorated trainers in boxing history, but with 7 confirmed PED cases among his fighters, his legacy is undeniably stained. The question isn't if there's smoke, it's how much fire Reynoso is hiding behind that smoke. In boxing, PEDs ruin careers, destroy reputations, and erode trust in this great sport. When the same gym keeps producing positive tests, fans deserve answers. 7 fighters, 7 failed tests, and 1 trainer at the center of it all. Is Eddy Reynoso just unlucky? Or is he the real cheater in this sport? Should Eddy and his camp be banned from boxing forever, or let them keep cheating? Are the governing bodies protecting a particular group of people, or is Eddy paying the organizations lots of money? You decide.